everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Danny and Troy Show. And this is 3 in our 7-part series where we are developing activity kits for brand storytelling. It's our new mission, vision for the company, Datalogical Services. And we are sticking to our model of identifying the purpose, the means in which you can execute it, and the source from which it came. And this one, I'm really excited because for these 7, we're releasing an activity kit for every one. And we've done the first 2. The first was auditioning. The first was monologue. The second was auditioning. Now, this one is the casting. And
it's part of a process.
Exactly.
We're not really results oriented because we know that the process never ends. But we achieve results along the way, nevertheless.
Exactly.
As you will see.
We are agile and we are iterative, and we build on top of what we've done in the past.
Can I be agile today? And you
Sure.
can be iterative? It's like Laurel and Hardy, right? Or something like that. Okay, that's all right. I mean, I'm always ripping things up. Please continue, Troy.
So
I think I'm funny. That's the problem.
Yeah. Everybody,
go ahead, continue.
Give us the thumbs up if you think Danny's funny.
I can do it.
Yeah. Okay. That's right. We don't really care what guys think out there. We're doing this for our own pleasure and our own fun. And yeah, if you do get something out of these videos, of course, we're interested to know that you exist, and that, so giving a thumbs up, subscribing, or a comment here is very much welcome. Now, let's talk about the activity kit, the casting. It will guide you through the process. Again, it's a self-analysis. It's done by yourself. We're not prying. We're not asking you questions or to submit reports for us to review. Find a quiet space. Go through the exercise, the activity, and see what you get out of it. You will get out of it what you put in. It's one of those things.
Or more, right? It's greater than the sum of its parts.
Exactly. So these are the means in which you can execute the purpose of developing your own brand story, and the space that we're coming from right now is really the first split into 3. So the third is defining yourself. So define your character. The second slice of the pie is about developing your character, and the third and final is about displaying your character. And all these activities are designed to walk you through those pieces of the pie. Now, casting is really coming into the developing side, where you get to pick and choose which characteristics of yourself and characters that you've had influence in your life, influence yourself in your life, and develop that character of yourself and your brand story around your own choosing. Who makes the cut? Who's getting, no callback? And you will notice in this activity, and we talk about the Divine Madman, and in particular, we know there's a number of Divine Madmen with that label out there. One in Russia, Danny was saying. The one we're talking about that influenced us in this content is from Bhutan. And it really did come. How did it come about, Danny, for you? Do you remember?
I personally, it came about because that's how I felt. Right? It was like there's a divine message behind what it is we're doing. Divine meaning, in my vocabulary, is you've got common, right? And if it's not common, it's divine. I make it really very simple. And so I felt like we said earlier, that I had something inspired
Hmm.
to offer people. I felt that I was in the right place at the right time. I didn't question why, I didn't schedule it because I knew I would meet you there. I had faith in myself, and I
Right.
trusted that the motivation that I was feeling was coming from my ability to sense many things around me that were not essentially conscious, right? But subconscious.
Hmm.
And that pretty much put me on the track of, going to Bhutan anyway, which was a spiritual experience, right? Of being, it's not just about Buddhism, it's about the place. It's about, what I get from being around these people and
Sure.
how they feel about where they live and what they do, and they cherish it,
Hmm.
and it was really nice to see this expression on people's faces, in their voices, and how they uh, bent over backwards to do everything for the people who came there for this conference. And I was just suitably impressed. And plus, being around Buddhist priests who weren't trying to sell you something, right?
Hmm.
They were just being open and honest with you. And
Yeah.
they said something to me I remember very special. They said that we don't believe, we know. And
Hmm.
it's little things like that that I felt like, I was in the world of the divine.
Right.
And, the madman was principally the Westerner, right?
Sure.
Me, because I've done this before in other countries, right? And I think it's that spirit that accompanies me
Yeah.
with it that makes me feel like, um, especially gauging people's reaction to the kinds of things I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Public relations in St. Petersburg at the university. I didn't go there planning to, start a faculty. It was just, this is one of my interests and I want to share it with you. And people looked at me like, I was mad, like I was crazy, which
Yeah.
ended up being actually a blessing
Sure.
because they were very interested. They were curious, and we used that energy to promote what was going on, whether it's cryptocurrency in Bhutan, which we made an introduction to, or we're entrepreneurship in Petersburg and revitalization of, culture and economy, which
Hmm.
I was in on.
Yeah.
And people, we don't have to control it because once we're there and we make our impression, it has a life of its own. And I
Exactly.
felt like, a messenger. That was it. And I was having a blast meeting people, talking my head off like I do now, and seeing where we can go together, which
Exactly.
is kind of what we're doing now. Making an introduction to people and saying, let's see where we can go together.
That's right.
And we made the price of this, and unfortunately, I have to bring that up, um, which is very doable. I mean, whenever I go somewhere, I I go to a grocery store to find out what the cost of a loaf of bread is. And if I'm driving, then I want to know what the price of gasoline is, right? Because I make those comparisons. To fill up my gas tank now here in the US is like $60. And I say to myself, that's going to be vaporized in a
Yeah.
week,
Right.
that and the money. And I say to myself, what could I do with that money?
Hmm.
So for half a tank of gas,
Well,
you you
yeah.
can explore and discover yourself and tailor make what you do to being more knowledgeable about yourself and what your capabilities are,
Hmm.
how to get people to listen to you, how to use all of the techniques and methodology that I've learned over the last 40 years, right? Which took me
Yeah.
through New York, LA, and everywhere,
Hmm.
with some fantastic results.
Hmm.
And it
Hmm.
wasn't because I was into theater. I was into theater, but that was a place for me, right?
Sure.
So that, and like the PhD, I got a PhD, so they wouldn't lock me up, right? It's like,
Yeah.
no, he has a PhD. I guess we won't lock him up. It's like, yeah, okay. And so one thing leads to another. And then we got to this point when I met you. It's like, okay, data scientist, the world's turning digital. And we put our heads together and came up with something that we felt like, could help people, whether it's just the person that we're helping or the person in their own career,
Exactly.
how they apply their talents, and then add to that how we can help you be more visible, be clear when you speak, no wasted movement, when you're on stage or in front of people, have a good sense of what you're going to be talking about, et cetera, et cetera. So we put this whole program together to help other people accomplish what we have accomplished in our life, and we share with you.
Well, yeah, and we put it together for us, for me, essentially. I've been going through it and applying it, and if nobody else gets benefit from it, I'd be very surprised, for one, but I don't really mind because I am getting the benefits. The liberation, the creative drive, the energy that comes from, and you talk about fuel. This is much better than a half
video
petrol
on whatever.
It's going to energize, and it has energized me for months, and hopefully for the rest of my life. It's going to be influencing me. So
we would say in the theater, Troy, that you've got the bug, the theater bug, right?
Well,
and so we're giving the bug away for free. Comes with the package.
Guiding people into it, it's like, and this is a space that, like you said, I think is highly underutilized. This brand storytelling, everybody knows about it, but not many put the effort, the required effort into really developing an interesting and compelling and entertaining brand story. We were having a look the other day at just some of the things, random companies, and you have to kind of dig in. It's down in the bottom in the about section, and then there'll be one or two pictures about how the company was formed and the challenges they overcame, and their vision for the future. But developing it into a brand story using the theatrical approach is what we are doing, and it's fun to do.
And we are sick of the way the world is dealing with economies, and we are impelled to avoid the mundane, right? I don't feel like because I'm living, I have to be bored to death, or I've got to do this, or I got my future designed for me. It's like, look at my face. That's how I feel. And it's like, no, that's not what I want, right? It's not what I want. And don't hit me up for mortgages, and car payments and all this other stuff, unless it's what I choose. And that means developing an awareness about myself. Do I know myself, right? That's know thyself from the temples in Delphi, right? The other one is nothing in excess. And we try to, I won't say try, we do it in the best way we know how, to share our knowledge and as keys to success. Success, okay, which is what? Another interpretation, right? Is how you want to live your life. And when you're free to do that, it doesn't matter really how much extra you have that you store away, in the hollow in the tree for later. It's like, you got it, let's use it. Money, if it's what that's about, let's make it work for you. The same way we make your character and your self-awareness work for you even better than it's working now. That's our goal. That's our objective, right? Is to pump out populations, volumes of people who understand themselves better and who are not sucked into a reality that they did not choose. This is about freedom of expression and freedom in principle, which is fundamental, first above everything. And we want to share that with people and watch them bloom.
Exactly. And I love the angle of the, what do we call it? The rebellion force, or the underground community that's, coming up and rising, the underdogs. against these huge corporations and big tech, big data, or big pharma.
Renegades.
Yeah.
Renegades.
So we are
outlaws,
the middlemen, but we're also turning back to those that are developing, like we said in the last podcast, the next generation. I have a driving desire to support this, and the next generation, my daughter. I want her to see her with not just the benefits and values and the things I had as I was growing up, but lots more. And if we don't make a change, I see things really being worse off for the next generation.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say, I had this conversation today with my brother. Is like, he's got 2 sons, and we started talking, and I said, how many people today know how to use their hands? Right? It's all in their head. They couldn't nail a nail if they had to. They wouldn't know the difference between a nail and a hammer, right? Or what is a saw, or how to make a cut. And this is a tragedy, right? We don't need to depend on everybody else, when first we need to learn how to depend on ourselves.
Sure. And utilizing this creative angle to bring in.
Absolutely.
So I think creativity is inside all of us, and somehow it gets squashed out, particularly for me, going through my schooling, my university, my job, to become a data scientist. So there's just, no room for creativity. And this is why I'm so motivated to get into this field of brand storytelling, applying my data science knowledge of how to make it work. But it's the best of both worlds in terms of logical, mathematical sequence, as well as creative desire and drive.
I remember when I was in college, I was taking, I think it was a physics class, and they gave me a wonderful definition of what a tool is, right?
Okay.
And ever since that time, I've been working things down to, shorter and shorter descriptions of what is a tool in a way in which I can understand it. And I remember that one. It said, tool is anything that makes work easier.
Yeah.
So I think we are offering a number of different tools here, right?
That's right.
We're not saying to use a hammer as a screwdriver. Of course you can, right? But we don't advise it. So, we help you discover your own tools, how to use the tools that we have, we can share with you. Yeah. And one of them, of course, we always trying to find a place to begin, right? to catch people's attention and to learn to speak with them in a way in which we can share. And that was our choice, in brand storytelling. And who are you? What is your brand, your personal brand, your business brand? And you may be surprised how close they are to each other, right? It's just, having an understanding of things, especially yourself.
Exactly.
And it's freeing. You can call us, anytime. We may charge you, depending on how complicated.
We will charge you.
We will charge you
for free.
Right?
No, wait.
We're gonna get rich.
Danny's so giving, and this is the challenge that we've been up for so long, is that we've been doing so much and providing so much knowledge, and Danny has such valuable knowledge, and it's becoming unsustainable. But so this is why we're coming and putting down these packages, these activity kits. I'm taking my job as a data scientist to take the knowledge in data in Danny's head and systematize it and package that and give it, make it accessible to people that don't call Danny and ask him for hours on hours of what to do. So, but of course, now this is a great segue into the 3 aspects of what we provide. One is the activity kits. Just take them off the shelf and go do them. They're self-applied. What you get out of it is what you put in. We do offer services. You can call us. We offer consulting services, usually on a retainer setting where we will work on a project, whether it's your brand story or your business model. And we have programs where we work interactively, we collaborate and work towards a set goal, which usually are running around 3 months in a program. One thing that came to mind is the Popeye program where we've developed, and the whole image of the fuel. I love that saying. Popeye one time was like, "Oh, little fuel for my mule." He was actually on a donkey. So he, of course, spinach is his fuel, takes half a can for himself, and fuel for my mule, and he gives the donkey some spinach, and bam, they're off. And this is
I like the way he opens cans, right? He just squeezes them and the lid pops off.
Exactly.
Great stuff.
Yeah, that's in the works as well, the Popeye program, which is a collaborative effort, a 3-month program where we can work on projects and helping you develop your brand story. But what's available right now is this activity kit, the casting, available in the description, or just go to datalogicalservices.com/onstage to see the overview of the kit. You'll also see our previous kits up, and they're just $29.95. It's an investment in yourself. And if this resonates with you, we'd love to hear from you. And I think
where do they go again, Troy? How do they get there?
datalogicalservices.com/onstage. There's a link in the description.
/onstage.
Exactly.
Which is where we want to be, on stage. And if you want to join us, we can create a cast, right? And you can be in it.
That's right. If you want to be part of the cast, this activity kit is about setting your own casting for yourself, bringing in the characters that you like in your own story, in your own life, applying these different mindsets. It's all in the activity kit. It'll guide you through. And check it out.
Yep.
Don't forget to subscribe. Right. And
and we'll see you on stage. Thank you. Bye.